Hello there, today is 1826 and we're gonna finish off Ventress. Got it right that time. We're gonna start work on the arm for the Imperial Knight. I'll finish Darth Maul's base once Ventress is complete, and then I'll varnish the lot along with the boys from Zombicide. The bulk of Ventress has been completed. It's just a case of finishing off the minor details and then doing the skin. As Ventress is the main focus of today, I'm going to work in sections. So I'm going to do like washes that need to be washed. Then I'll work on a bit that's already dry but not connected to the wash, and I'll keep going backwards and forwards like that until the model is finished. Taking care, of course, not to like get my fingers on any of the wet washes or anything like that, because that's the last thing that I'd need. With Ventress mostly out of the way, I thought I'd continue with the Imperial Knight arm. All I'll be doing today is tidying up the metal areas where the spray had gotten when I airbrushed it, and then I'm going to give the whole thing a wash ready for tomorrow. Going back to Ventress, I just needed to finish off her lightsabers and her skin, which is not going to take too long at all. The main detailing for the skin is going to be the thing that takes the longest, the eyes, and she's got like markings on her head. And of course, once she was done, I started work on their bases, and that'll, once they're done, it will be the core set for Shatterpoint done and dusted, and I can start work on one of the next packs I have. And after washes and the bases had dried, I gave everything a once over with a matte varnish to protect them from the wear and tear of plays and when they're in their cases. I'll finish off this arm tomorrow. It's mostly done now. It's just a few minor details and highlighting all that metal. The boys are now varnished so they can be put back in their box. And Ventress and Maul are finally done and out of the way, and as I said earlier, that's the core box set done. Happy with today's work. It also looks like the weather has finally calmed down a little in England, so I'm going to take advantage of this brief sunshine, and I'm going to spray up the Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff that I put together last week alongside some Doctor Who models. I split the Marvel Crisis Protocol stuff into two different colours, one black and one white. That way it'll help for base coats and such. And as ever, don't forget to spray that thumb a nice shade of grey this time. Today is 1827 and I'm going to finish off this arm for the Imperial Knight, and I'm going to get more done on these guys from Blackstone Fortress. First thing I'm going to do is highlight the metal on the arm of the Imperial Knight, and it's just basically going to be a nice liberal dry brushing to pick out all those tiny details and make them stand out. While the dry brush is out, I'm also going to do the same to the guys from Blackstone Fortress. Once that's done, I'm going to start picking out more detailing on the Imperial Knight arm. It's just basically the wires and the like the hoses all connecting. I'm going to make those a different color so they stand out a lot more. And as the color palettes for both the arm and these guys are pretty much the same, I'm going to do the same for the Blackstone Fortress guys. While I'm waiting for washes to dry, I thought I'd start work on the next arm for the Imperial Knight. I'll begin by tidying up any metal work that needs to be tidied up, and then there's a little bit of paint work that also needs to be tidied up around the gun. And once that's done, I'm going to give everything a wash with Nuln oil, and that'll take quite a while to dry. So this is as far as I'm going to get today with this gun. After those washes are dried, I finished off the other arm, so that's all now complete, ready to be stuck back on the Knight. And I highlighted these guys and started work on the flesh, but I only managed to get one guy done because it needed a couple of coats. I'm not that worried though, because my main focus this week is going to be on that Imperial Knight. The battle cannon for the Imperial Knight will be the main focus for tomorrow. Today is 1828 and I'm finishing off this gun arm for the Imperial Knight. I'll be starting work on this part of the gun for the Imperial Knight, and I'll be adding the skin on that sounds a bit serial killer, on one of these guys. First thing I'll do is give the gun a nice liberal dry brushing to pick out all those lovely highlights. And then I'll start doing all the tiny little details like the pipes and wires and things like that. Once the gun arm is out of the way, I'll then tidy up the metal on this pintle mounted, don't know what it is, autocannons I think. And once everything's tidied up, I will give it a wash with non-oil to get a lovely coat of shading. And with that out of the way, all I'll have left to do is enough time for some skin on one of these guys. I'm not really worried about getting these guys done anytime soon. They're basically just something to do while I'm continuing work on the Imperial Knight. And with that finished, we haven't got much left to do on the Imperial Knight. It's just the 2 extra weapons and the main body of it. And another one of these guys has had their skin painted. I'll probably do another one tomorrow while I'm waiting for washes and such to dry, as this weapon here will be the main focus of tomorrow. In the evening, me and my partner, we played a game of Warhammer Underworld's Beastgrave. She chose some goblins because she found them cute, and I've never used my orcs before, so I thought I would give these guys a whirl. Today is 1829. I'm going to get this pintle mounted gun finished for the Imperial Knight, as well as start the other optional mount for it. And I'll do a little bit of skin on one of these guys as well. This weapon is fairly quick to do. It's just a matter of a tiny bit of dry brushing, and then after that it's simply doing the very small extra details, and that'll be done. For the rockets, I need to tidy up all that lovely metal first before I do anything else, so I'll do that. And after I've done that, I'll then add any shading with non-oil. And for the green, I actually use Beltan green to get the shading on there, so it looks more natural rather than being black. And there was just enough time to do the skin on one of these guys from Blackstone Fortress. With this weapon finished, the knight is coming along quite nicely. It's just this rocket pod and then the main body of it, and all the paint will be done. And after that, I just need to start adding transfers. And these guys are coming along slowly but surely. I'll get the skin on the last one done tomorrow. Today is 1830, and I'm going to get this missile pod turret finished. I couldn't think of this name then. And I'm going to try and get as much as I can finished on the main body of the Imperial Knight. So we'll start things off with a dry brush on the metal to get that all nice and shiny and to pick out the details as best I can. And once that is finished, we'll start highlighting other details and picking them out, like the missiles and any lights or wires that are on the beast. And once the missiles and everything are out of the way, I am going to start painting up the rest of the Imperial Knight's main body. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to again cover it with silver. It's going to take quite some time because there's a lot of silver that I need to repaint or cover up from the airbrush. And once I've covered it all up, I will give it a nice liberal wash with Nuln oil, and that'll probably be as far as I can get today. The missile pod is now done and dusted, so that's out of the way, and we're just on to the last piece of the model, which of course is the main body of the Imperial Knight. I've tidied everything up. I just need to work mostly on the details tomorrow and a little bit of shading where for the green parts. Lastly, a couple of models arrived from Firestorm Games, a couple of 3D printed models. They offer a wonderful 3D print service. This one is of the Guyver, which is an anime / manga, which is almost my favourite, and a Grogu in his basket for my missus. Today is 1831, and all I'll be able to do, because I don't have much time, is a little bit of work on this Imperial Knight. First thing I'll be doing is giving the whole silver area a nice big dry brush to pick out all those finer details that we have buried deep within this huge model. After that, for the areas that won't be suitable for a dry brush, I'll be highlighting it using a paintbrush, obviously, to give it more refined, sharp highlight. And then I'm getting too close to the end of how much time I've got to paint today, so I'm just going to start painting a few pipes copper. Annoyingly, these ones are mostly going to be hidden, so you won't really see them, but after that, that's all I can really do today. So a very short one, unfortunately, today. So as I said, very short. Couldn't get much done, unfortunately, but we'll be doing a lot more tomorrow and hopefully getting this guy finished and ready to be glued together. Speaking of gluing, I quickly stuck the Guyver model to its base. It looks fantastic, can't wait to paint it. Today is 1832 and I'm going to get this Imperial Knight finally finished. At least paint-wise. I've still got to add transfers and I still need to know if the guy that I'm doing it for wants me to do the base. It's mostly finishing off the details that I didn't manage to finish off yesterday, so I'll be starting things off by painting up the exhausts, and then I'll go around and paint any wires and other tiny little details like that. Once they're painted, I'll give all of the details. So I've just painted a quick wash ready for highlighting, and then that should be pretty much it. While the washes were drying, I thought I'd finish the skin on one of these guys as well and get that out of the way ready for tomorrow. So when I was putting together the Imperial Knight, I was missing the actual connection port to put the head on, so I'm gonna have to make my own. I'm gonna use one of the arm joints. I'm gonna basically widen that up, make it nice and smooth, and then slot it into place, and hopefully that'll manage to hold the head in. Using a hobby knife and this file here, I widened the hole and then stretched out as much as I could. This is sounding filthy, to actually make sure it fits the gap. After the filing, I gave it a quick coat of silver. Once the paint was dry, it was time to get the model together. I haven't added all the pieces yet because I thought if I do, I'm going to probably struggle adding transfers, so I'll do that tomorrow and finally glue it all together then. As that'll probably be quite a short thing, I'll continue with these little dudes as well. There's not much left to do with these. So that's it for this week. It's been quite a productive week in the way of me getting this commission done. I just needed to get out of the way. I'd finally had enough, but we finished the Star Wars stuff. I'd absolutely love these models, they're fantastic. The Blackstone Fortress stuff is nearly finished. And yeah, the Imperial Knight, well underway. Just need to add the transfers and finish gluing it together and it'll be done. I need to inquire about the base. I'm not entirely sure if he wants me to base it or not, so I'll do that tomorrow. Hopefully he'll say yes, because it feels a bit incomplete without a base. If you made it this far through the video, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Think about giving us a subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye for now.